on a pre-March Madness episode of the Sports Mules. The tournament starts tomorrow, so I should probably talk about it today. And did I say March Madness? Nah, son. I meant Sports Mules Madness. Wake up, Mules Nation. Time to dig in. Happy post-St. Patrick's Day, Mules Nation. Welcome to the show. I am, as always, your driving instructing, podcast constructing, sentence interrupting host, Eric Heiner. However you're listening, whenever you're listening, thank you for making us a part of your day. So St. Patrick's Day was on Sunday. I know most people went out Saturday. So I hope everyone has recovered and is back to as normal, as humanly and legally possible. But I hope you're having a good week. I wanted to get this episode out today because I'm not going to do the whole tournament. I know, it's sad. But we're just going to do this weekend coming up, right? Starts Thursday. So we're just going to go on the picks, what I think, until we get down to the Sweet 16. And then we'll do another episode next week as we go into Sweet 16 and Elite 8 to get to the Final Four because it's called content. So I'm not going to, shoot everything all at once here. We're going to use what we have and stretch things out, just like a good argument. Just take what you have and expand it out as much as possible. But I hope you guys are having a good week. I'm having a great week. I got a new chair. Can you hear it? Maybe not. But I got a new chair, so I feel very professional. That's the only thing professional about me. Baseball is currently on TV, the Dodgers and Padres. So the Fathers are playing in Seoul, Korea. So baseball has started. Opening day isn't officially till next week, and we'll, spoiler alert, we may talk about that briefly tomorrow. But also this week, I started giving driving lessons to my daughter. She passed her learner's permit test, flying colors. Fantastic job. I didn't have enough time to get nervous. She went off to take the test. I was like, okay, I know she'll pass, but you still have a little nervous energy. And by the time I looked up, she was back. I was like, oh shit, either this is really good or really bad. But she nailed it. She crushed it. Got her permit. And last couple of days we've been going out driving. She's been doing a good job. Almost only killed me once, which is, compared to what I do to myself, that's a pretty good number. So we'll take it. But yes, we have more of that. And but we'll go over, like I said, the first two opening rounds here. We'll go over these picks of what I think. Right, these are just my views and my opinions and what I think will happen. Do not make decisions based upon me. This is all for fun, right? All for fun, all to have a good time. If you, I have to say, for legal reasons, for a variety of reasons, but also for legal reasons, if you have any problems, or somebody has any problems, you feel, give 1-800-GAMBLER a call. But again, right, this is all just in good fun, just to enjoy ourselves, not to take anything too seriously. Don't make life decisions based upon me. I rarely make life decisions based upon myself. You shouldn't as well. But again, right, right, they're just opinions. So don't freak out and just have some fun. But let's get into some sports. Shantwy, eighth time's the charm. Let's see how this one goes. I don't understand how it went from 40 to 70 something back down to 30. Allergies are just out of control. This is insane. Any hoot. So the Final Four for the men's tournament this year will be in Pahonix, or as the kids like to call it and be hip, Phoenix. So the Final Four is the April 6th and April 8th is the championship game. But before we get to that, let's get to the real nitty-gritty of all of this, right? Because technically there's still 2 games to be played, to get into the tournament, but we're not really concerned about that because I'm a bracketist. Is that a thing? It is now. And, 'tis the time of year where work production goes down because everybody is at work looking at their bracket or filling out brackets or watching the games at work, and nobody's ever actually working. I mean, people rarely work at work to begin with. You know who that cough was for. And, this is just really sends productivity into the toilet. But it's all for fun. It's all for a good time. Unless, again, 1-800-GAMBLER. But I think everybody feels really good at like 11:58 on day one of the tournament, right? Right before the games start, you're excited. You feel good. You're like, this is the year. I have the perfect bracket. I'm going to win the $1 million or whatever, bragging rights, whatever it happens to be. You're like, this is the year. And usually around 12:20, 12:24 is when you go, this is the worst. I don't know why I do this to myself every year. It's like dating. You feel good. And then 10 minutes in, you're like, I could have just stayed at home and watched YouTube. I don't need this shit. But because we hate ourselves and we're sadists, we're going to go over the first 2 rounds here. And I'm going to give you my picks. Again, do not listen to me. Do not take gambling advice. Do not take sports selection advice. Do not take life advice from me. Because like I said, I rarely take it from myself. But if you're still here, let's have some fun with it. So we will start in the East, where the overall number 1 seed in the tournament and the number 1 seed in the East is my mother's de facto favorite team, UConn. So UConn is up against Stetson. I would say that's kind of an easy win for UConn, so we'll go UConn there. The 8 and 9, we got FAU, Florida Atlantic, for those of you not in the know. I'm going to go super anal today. Clean it up. Against Northwestern, I think Northwestern has them on this one here. Smart guys in purple usually do very well. So we'll go with Northwestern. After that, we have number 5, San Diego State, Go Aztecs versus UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham. Again, I told you I'm going to get super granular. 5-8, Aztecs. I mean, that's easy one on that one. 4-13, Auburn, Yale. Yale, smart guys, not purple. War Eagle, Auburn. Then we have BYU, Brigham Young University, Mormons. Number 6 versus number 11, DeQuinson. It all depends where you are, right? That's one of those names people screw up a lot. But I'm going to go, let's go Mormons, mostly because they're 27-year-old men playing against 18-year-olds because they're Mormons. So we'll go BYU on that one. Then we have 3 and 14. We have Illinois, not Illinois, Illinois versus Morehead State. Again, keep it clean. Illinois on that one. Are they? Yeah. I'm just gonna stop myself there. Washington State is at 7. Drake, not that Drake. Somebody who actually does good stuff now is at number 10. But I'm still gonna go Washington State on that one. The remaining member of the Pac-2. And then we have number 2, Iowa State versus number 15, South Dakota State. If this was football, rabbits all the way. But it's not, so we're going to go with the Cyclones. So that's my first round there. I'm not writing any of this down. So when we come back to do the second round, let's see exactly how well this memory works. I'm going to go, spoiler alert, not good. And then we have my favorite yet most terrifying section of the bracket, the West, where the number 1 seed are my North Carolina Tar Heels, which has me absolutely ass backwards terrified because the better or the higher ranked we are, the worse we're going to do in this tournament. So I what a gut punch. Hey, your team is the number 1 seed in your bracket. great. I can't wait to be out after the first round. Anyway, so yeah, my Tar Heels versus Wagner. I have to pick them. I think they're going to win anyway, but I have to pick them. So Tar Heels on that one. Number 8 versus 9, always a great matchup. Mississippi State versus Michigan State. Michigan State, all the way. I'll stick by my guns forever on that one. Number 5 versus 12, St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon is essentially a online school that eventually grew to get enough money to have they're like Liberty. They're like Liberty. It's like a religious school, but most of it's online, but they do have a campus and they have some sports. And I know this goes against my smart people in purple, but St. Mary's. Ooh, that's like a holy war there. Interesting. And then the next one we have number 4 Alabama, 13 seed Charleston. Roll Tide. I'm never not gonna pick Alabama. Roll Tide. Number 6, number 11. Clemson's number 6. New Mexico is number 11. I know we've been pretty chalk so far, right? And by chalk is when essentially you just pick the higher ranked team. This is the one, or one of the ones at least. I'm going to go New Mexico for the upset on this one over Clemson. Then we have 3 Baylor versus 14 Colgate. Colgate, again, super smart guys, but no purple. So Baylor. 7 Dayton versus 10 Nevada. I do love a good Flyers. However, they're not in Philadelphia. They're in Ohio. So Wolfpack, Nevada, gets the win. And then the last one here for the West, number 2, Arizona. Why couldn't you guys be number 1? Damn. Versus number 15, Snoop Dogg's favorite Long Beach State. I got to go Wildcats. So that is the first round for the East and the West. Who's better? East side, West side? I'm not going to get involved in that war again. I've already been in it enough over the years. I'm a East Coast, West Coast war veteran. So we'll do number 2, the second round here for the East and the West. And the real test of all of this, like I said, is to see exactly if I remember who the hell I picked in the first round. But let's find out. So I went UConn and Northwestern, and I am going to stick with UConn because my mom will beat me again if I don't. And then we have San Diego State versus Auburn. It's a tough one. This is a tough one. Do I go with my head or do I go with my heart? I'll excuse me. I'll go with my heart because my head often deceives me. So Aztecs in the win on that one. And then we have the Mormons versus Illinois. Sounds like a legal case. I will go with Illinois on that one. Let's get them on the win on that one. Washington State versus Iowa State. As much as I would love the Cougars to win here to keep Pac-2 going, I feel like it ends there. So Iowa State for the win. And then we'll go to the second round for the West here. God help me. Michigan State versus North Carolina. I know what's going to happen. Michigan State's going to win. But I have to go with my Tar Heels still. So Tar Heels, my North Carolina over Michigan State. Then we have St. Mary's versus Alabama. Roll Tide again. Roll Tide again. I'm going to ride with it. And now here's where we get a little crazy because I picked New Mexico to upset Clemson. And I have them going against Baylor. But I feel like the dream ride is over there. Baylor to move on to the Sweet 16. And then we have Nevada versus Arizona. I'll stick with the Wildcats. We'll go Arizona. So my Sweet 16, essentially, coming out of the East and the West, is going to be UConn, San Diego State, and Illinois and Iowa State. And then from the West, we got North Carolina. We have Alabama, Baylor, and Arizona. So that's the East and the West. Now we were horizontal. Yeah. So let's get vertical next. Before we get into this, I'm going to say this very politely. Some people at work are fucking problems. Do not, whatever you do, whatever your job is, right? I don't care if you're a garbage man, you work at a circus, you own Apple, whatever it is. Don't be a fucking problem at work. Okay? Anyway, let's get horizontal. No, we were horizontal. We're getting vertical. And by vertical, I mean we're doing the South and the Midwest. How come there's no North? We got East, West, and a South. But nobody wanted a North? That seems like there's a little directional hatred there. But hey, yeah, whatever. To each their own. So the South here, okay. So we'll go with the South here, the first two opening rounds. So number one, Houston versus Longwood. I will openly admit, I know absolutely nothing about Longwood. No offense to you guys, but I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, but I can admit that. But not that it really matters because Houston's a great team. So Houston is going to move on that one. And then we have 8-9, Nebraska versus Texas A&M. Wow, this used to be one hell of a game when they're all in the Big 12. And then both of them decided to get the hell out of there. And now it's just a game that we get to pick here in the tournament. And I'm going to go Aggies, gig 'em, not giggity, gig 'em in the first round here. So, sorry, Huskers, back to your corn and cold. So, Texas A&M on that one. Then we have number 5, Wisconsin versus James Madison, who's at number 12. And if this was football, I might go with the Dukes, but it's not. So, get ready to jump around, Wisconsin. Number 4, Duke versus number 13, Vermont. I've already stated I'm a Tar Heels fan. And as much as I like maple syrup, Duke for the win on that one. And then we have number 6 and 11, Texas Tech versus North Carolina State. I'm going to stick with the beautiful state of North Carolina. North Carolina gets the upset win, and they move on. And then we have a place where, at number 3, where Jack Daniels is made, but yet Jack Daniels is illegal to drink in the county that it is made. Kentucky is playing number 14, Oakland. Kentucky for the win on that one. Then we have Florida versus one of the play-in winners that we don't have yet. I think it's going to be Colorado. There's another spoiler alert. But again, I don't think it really matters all that much. And my voice cracks. Someday I'll be a real man. But Florida's going to win on that one anyway. And then we have number 2, Marquette versus Western Kentucky, where you can drink Jim B. And they're going to need some because they're going to lose. Marquette on the win on that one. And now we go to the North. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Midwest, because up yours, North, where we have number 1, Purdue versus the other game, play-in game winner, which is, I think it's Grambling versus Montana. Easy for me to say, Montana State. Again, I think it's irrelevant. Purdue is going to win. And then we have number 8, 9, Utah State versus Texas Christian University, or TCU. Smart guys in purple, TCU, and Horned Frogs. I mean, purple, horny frog. I mean, that's an easy win. TCU for the win on that one. Then we have Gonzaga versus McNeese. Number 5, number 12, Gonzaga's number 5 seed, and they will still be the number 5 seed because they're going to move on. Number 4, Kansas versus Samford. Kansas for the win on that one. Number 6, South Carolina versus number 11, Oregon. Did I do it on the other side too? I just don't. Yeah, I just have a problem with 6 and 11. Ducks for the win on that one. Creighton at 3 versus Akron. Akron has been through a lot in the last 50 years. And they deserve a win. They deserve some happiness and some joy. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen today. Creighton on the win. Texas. That's my W. Texas. Versus Colorado State. That's a 7-10 matchup. Texas for the win. And somewhere with that victory, all right, is shirtless somewhere, playing a banjo. And number 2, Tennessee, because you're the only 10 I see, versus number 15, St. Peter's. You know what? Screw it. What do I care? I don't got money on this. The hell with it. St. Peter's for the win. St. Peter's in the win because they fired their coach, who then led them to the tournament. He's still there. So let's get some joy out of this still. St. Peter's. Sorry, Tennessee, but okay. And now the real challenge for the week. Who the hell did I pick on the first ones? Houston versus Texas A&M, and Texas Texas is going to win either way. But the section of Houston, or the section of Texas, Houston, is going to be the people most happy. So Houston on the win on that one. Then we got Wisconsin versus Duke. I'm going to go Wisconsin because I like cheese and I like most dairy products. So, yeah, Wisconsin. So they can continue to jump around over Duke on that one, and maybe slightly because I'm a Tar Heels fan, so fuck Duke. Then we have we have North Carolina State versus Kentucky. And again, house money. I'm going to let this ride. North Carolina State for the win. And then we had Florida versus Marquette. I am going to stick with a little bit upset in this bracket, right? There's always one section of the bracket that chaos reigns. And man, I love me some chaos. So we're going to go with Florida to upset Marquette in that one. When was the last time they made Sweet 16? It's been a few years. So good job, Florida. Then we have Purdue versus TCU. I want to keep with my purple. But I think Purdue is just, you know what? No, let's do it. I am going to have to actually write these down because I'm not going to remember any of this next week. It's not going to matter because next week we're going to go from who is actually still in it. But I'll try to keep track of how well I've done. And we all know I'm going to lie. But let's go. Let's do it. TCU for the win. Screw it. Gonzaga versus Kansas. I'm going to say let's go Gonzaga on that one to keep that going. Oregon Creighton. I feel Creighton is actually. I know Oregon is Nike University, but I feel like Creighton is a really, really good basketball school and basketball program. So I'm going to stick with Creighton on that one. And then Texas versus St. Pete's. It was good. You guys had one more good round. Good job, St. Pete's, but Texas for the win. So that's my Sweet 16 from the South and Midwest, which was Houston, Wisconsin, North Carolina State, and Florida. Then we had Purdue, Gonzaga, Creighton, and Texas. I think that's what I picked. I think that's what it is. Who knows? Maybe I'll listen to my own podcast to figure out what the hell I said, but probably not. Probably not. So yeah, those are my picks. And again, all for fun, all to enjoy yourselves. Will I remember what I've picked? Probably not. Will I go back and listen to my own podcast to see if I remember what I picked the first time? Probably not. And I know not listening to your own podcast is, I know, but whatever. It's my life, my choice, my body, my ears. I'll do what I want. So, yeah, there's my there's my Sweet 16 picks from the South and Midwest, because fuck you, North. Well, that's it for today's episode, boys and girls. This was a quick one, but this was just for the tournament, right? She's a pretty girl, and she deserves her own podcast, so I gave her own episode here. But, because, tacos don't make themselves, people do. So I hope you enjoyed it. I do have some more driving lessons to give tonight. So if you don't hear from me tomorrow, if there isn't another podcast, then things have not gone well. But remember, there's always money in the banana stand. So until then, dig in, go Mules.